So what do you consider the ideal beauty?
The ideal beauty, I think I consider it to be something from within, something that comes from the person's personality and the way they treat others and how respectful they are.
Okay.
First question. What do you think women are stereotypically supposed to look like based on their race? For example, Black, Hispanic, white, and Asian.
Right. Well, I guess I'll go first. I think it's a given. Like when it comes to the African American woman, or let me just say women of color, period, we're expected to have a big backside, big derriere, if you will. There's a certain, I guess, phenotype, which if I could probably give a specific celebrity we all are very well aware of, Miss Kim Kardashian. I guess she has the ideal body type that society deems as beautiful, and that women of color are all supposed to, I guess, exactly.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree with her. She said it all.
You said it all? That's a really good answer.
People say that they're supposed to be short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They always say like short, and like they're just like small,
Like
figure wise.
figure-
They're
Small
supposed to be
frames,
cute. They're
yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah.
small.
Small and petite.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Do you think there's anything stereotypical about Hispanic women?
As far
I don't know. I feel like Hispanic women, they fall into that women of color category. So they as well very much have the pressures of having, nice flat stomach with a nice big round behind.
That figure,
Yeah,
the
that Coke
childbearing
bottle.
You
figure.
have to have the curves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's like everybody has to have curves. If you're a woman of color, you are subject to that as a stereotype.
Exactly.
So,
Do you think men run into the same issue? They have a stereotype in regards to their body image?
yeah.
I mean,
I don't
I think they do, but I don't think that they fall into it and really care as much.
Exactly. They don't feel as much pressure that
Right.
women feel. For
I think they
instance, like I was speaking to an ex last night, and he was just telling me about how there was a guy. He was in the gym working out, and there was a guy that went and approached these two young ladies, and the conversation didn't last very long. As the guy walked off, he overheard the two girls, complaining that if a guy is not 6'3" and above, like they're not even looking at him, they're not checking for him. So I think, height is definitely one of those, I guess, requirements or deal breakers for most women. If you have to be a certain height to ride this ride, I guess, if you will, that's how a lot of them see it. But other than that, they don't really have too much pressure placed on their physical traits, features, characteristics, what have you. So.
Okay. And you said that they do, right?
I,
You agree?
I disagree with that because I feel like men do have that. I mean, they don't have as much pressure, but they do have that. It's one of those things where it's kind of like when they are, when a woman approaches a man, it's not going to be one of those things where they're going to be like, oh, hey, you have this, or, you, like you said, you have to be this tall to ride this ride. But, a man is going to be like, oh, well, fine, I'll go find the next one who wants to deal with me, or who can accept what I have. But I think men are more subject to be that way than women are, because media kind of forces them to, and that's where the pressure lies. But I think they still do have, some degree of pressure to look a certain way and be a certain way.
It's just not a talked about topic
Yeah,
as
it's not as
women's
talked about.
beauty is.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is, why do you think we as a generation think the way we do when it comes to these beauty ideals?
Because of social media and the media period, and just our interests, because of the generational, people don't want to read no more. People don't care about things that's aligned into their brain. So they get trapped into the norm.
The norm.
I don't know. I think when it has to do with media and mate selection. I think So when you women really don't care like what you look like, but they want to know what's in that pocketbook. So, but I think that that's really a norm, kind of geared towards any society or most societies.
And I just want a little clarification. Could you expand?
And body type, body size, shape, all of that. Just what you look like in general.
Okay.
So, like not exactly like a fertile woman, but
that is what
fertility
they
based
think
on
of,
right.
Because if they look at a pretty woman, they automatically think like, "Oh, we have some pretty kids."
You know.
And I think it's because of a lack of culture. Like America doesn't have a culture. Everything is so like watered down and everything's all mixed together. Like nobody has a defined culture. Because in Africa, it's not like that.
I feel like too many times people want to be like everybody else. Like nobody want to show their own identity of who they really are and what they look like. Nobody want to accept themselves no more. I think that's really the problem.
Okay.
Really reflected upon what we see in social media, what's trending or what people consider to be popular. I don't think a lot of people are very acceptable nowadays of one another, which is one of the big issues of making friends or bullying, perhaps. But yeah.
Thank you.
How do you think us as a generation, we see beauty now?
We see beauty as more of an outside factor, physical, and for today it really is, but that's the downfall of today because it's so in your face what do you see on the internet and social media and not what's real.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your idea of beauty?
I think that beauty is objective, meaning that it's from what other people think. So it's opinion. People have different things they think are beautiful. It could be your face or your personality. With that being said, to each person, beauty is different. And I think beauty, for me, comes from within.
Okay.
All right. Those are really great answers. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.